welcome to Walks with Moss. We've got a really fun day planned. We're gonna hike up to a couple of different bass lakes, Little Bass Lake and Big Bass Lake. And on the way up, we're gonna check my blackberry spot and my elderberry spot. It's early for both, but we're gonna check and see about future harvest. And we're also probably going to get a ton of spearmint. The weather's a bit unsettled today. It's been really dry lately. Look at these poor cottonwoods. They're suffering from the drought. It's been really dry and in the upper 80s, but today it's cooling down to 69, and there's going to be a tiny, tiny bit of rain, like 0.07 inches. And look at those dried out maple leaves. We could, whoa! Oh no, Bella, no! Please don't catch it. Bella, no! Bella, come back! Oh, I'm so glad she didn't catch it. Wow. She just flushed a grouse, but looks like it's getting away. As long as she goes after that adult, which is getting away, it'll be okay. Come here, Bella. Bella, come here. Come here, come here. Did you do your job as a Springer Spaniel? You sure did. Yeah. I wish she didn't have such a high prey drive, but it's that high prey drive that makes her a good hiking buddy, because she just loves to get out here. Okay. Oh, we're gonna harvest a whole bunch of spearmint. I think that's what I was gonna say. I'm glad you didn't catch that. Come on, let's get on up this hill and away from those grouse. And there's a forest fire nearby. It's on a mountain where I used to go all the time for solitude. Sometimes I'd go up a couple times a week. Gosh, I just love that mountain. But it's on fire again. And I haven't been up there in ages because it's too crowded now. And people are even further ruining it with a second fire. And it's a big fire, and this wind, it's gonna get bigger today. It's already made it over the summit of the mountain, and now it's probably gonna head down the other side. Yikes. So I brought a breathing mask with me in case it gets too smoky out here. Come here. I don't want Bella catching any baby grouse, so I'm gonna slow her down just a little bit by tying this stick to her, which she hardly even notices. She'll still get some good exercise, but she'll make a lot more noise, and she'll have a little bit more trouble running through the brush, and that should give the grouse a better chance. I don't know if it's going to be a good blackberry year. It's been too dry. These blackberries are all wilting and miserable looking. If I'm going to get any blackberries this year, it looks like I'm going to have to find a patch that's right in the water. Bella has already found a way to bloody herself. We're not even a quarter mile into this hike, and she wore out her stick, so she's got a new stick now. I think this one will really slow her down. I can't hold on to her leash because she'd just hurt me with all that pulling. She'd destroy my knees. This is a better way to slow her down. Yep, I think we got a big enough stick to slow her down just a bit. Plus she's kind of winded after chasing a rabbit. Not sure why she's quite so wild today. I guess it's just because there's so many animals in the bushes. Because she's been on a few walks, good long walks this week. It's funny that she doesn't even seem to notice that she's got a stick tied to herself. Pays it no mind at all, so I don't think it's mean, because she just doesn't even seem to know it. She's so intent on chasing things. Oh, this is not good though. Oh, look at these blackberries. Oh man. Oh boy. I've been starting to eat last year's canned blackberries. I had canned them up to make blackberry dumplings out of, but the proportions just weren't right. One can wasn't enough, and I didn't want to use 2 cans on each serving. Plus, blackberry dumplings are pretty high in calories. So I started just eating my whole blackberries out of the jar, and wow, they make a delicious treat. It worked. It worked. She's chasing a bird up there through the brush, and she could not catch it with that stick tied to her. All right. It worked. It worked. Yay. I don't know if that's a really young grouse that can just barely fly. I think it is. I mean, it could be an adult grouse, but I don't think they squeal just like that, and they think they fly higher. They don't hover. That's what's getting her all excited, is because they're flying really low. So it makes her think she has a shot of catching them. It was good to see that stick do its job there. She's still having fun and the birds are safe. Bella, come back here. Come on. Oh man. Wish she wasn't doing that though. You are a crazy dog. I know, you can't help it. You were bred for it for hundreds of years. Pedigreed hunting dog with a year of hunting dog training. She can't help herself. I think both of those grouse were actually adults that were flying low and making lots of noise to try to lure Bella away from their nest. Here's the first good-sized blackberry patch on the road. It's looking a little bit better than some of the lower ones, but it's still suffering too. I don't know. I think these are all going to dry out unless we get some rain. It looks like the elderberries are not suffering as much from the drought as the blackberries. They probably got deeper roots. This one looks like it's going to make lots of berries. It's got lots of flowers. Not very easy to reach though. I have to go through all these trailing blackberries, ouch, to get there. But I'll be back later in the year, see if I can get some of those. They made a nice jam. And these blackberries here are decimated. These blackberries are, I think, struggling a bit too. Yeah, it's gonna be the same story all the way up here, unfortunately. Looks like they came through here pretty recently with their giant weed eater. Even these trees aren't very happy about that with their deep roots. Here's another elderberry and it is miserable, but I think this is a red elderberry and not the blue elderberry. Must have been something really good back there. Wow. Yeah, so I think this year there's probably no point at all coming up here for blackberries. But I could come up for some elderberries. Maybe there'll be some. And I'm definitely going to take some elderberry cuttings and try to grow some elderberries at home. I think that's the way to go. Here's something kind of cool. The first ripe salal of the season. Wow. Wasn't expecting this because at my house, they're barely even forming berries yet. But I guess because of all the sun they get here. So we've got salal berries. These are not the tastiest berries in the world. Don't have a whole lot of flavor. But they're good for you. They're full of antioxidants. I like to make jam out of them. And I enjoyed the jam because I like salal. But you can add, you know, like lemon juice or maybe some Oregon grapes to your salal berry jam if you want more flavor out of it. And these aren't the best tasting berry in the world by any means, but they're quite good for you. And like most things, if you cook it right, it's going to be okay. Let's see how these taste anyway. I have a feeling they're not going to be very good because they're going to be dry. Oh wow, extremely dry. No sweetness, very astringent. I'm going to turn off my camera so I can spit them out. Those were nasty. Those actually tasted like salal leaves, which are quite astringent and almost make my tongue feel numb when I nibble on them. Those are not happy salal berries. Darn. I don't think we're going to have a good berry year at all unless we get some rains late in July like we did last year. Uh-oh, this is a bad sign. Literally a bad sign. It means they're probably logging up here. See, they used an aluminum nail and put a gasket on it to try to avoid damaging the tree. This is not good though. They're logging somewhere up in here. They put those in so that truckers can call over the CB what mile they're at so they don't hit each other when they come around the corners. And also so they can orient themselves. I just picked my first blackberry of the season. Little trailing blackberries. That one's not ripe. They're not very big, but at least they're not all dried up either. These are never real big because this is our native wild trailing blackberry. But sometimes they get quite a bit bigger than this. And these make the best pies ever. They're so good. just around the corner we will be at Little Bass Lake, or Baby Bass Lake. I'll stop there and maybe have a cup of coffee. Maybe do a little fishing, but I don't expect to catch anything worth keeping. And honestly, I don't want anything worth keeping right now because I'm too far from the car and it's too hot to be carrying fish around all day. I took Bella's stick off because she seems to have slowed down a little bit. Here we are, Baby Bass Lake. And someone left a chair here. Too bad they didn't leave any paddles. But I am going to sit on this kayak. Looks like it might be a comfortable place to sit. Yeah, there we go. Just sit here for a little bit and rest and maybe cast a few times. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, you like the water, don't you? She's making some weird squeaky noises. Probably just got water down the wrong pipe. That's what she always does. I'm not even going to put my line in here. It's always been such a waste of time because the bass here are so tiny. So let's move on to the next lake and check out my favorite spearmint patch. I'm hoping to harvest lots of spearmint at the next one. Even when it's dry, there's always conchs. There's always some fungi. I think this is the artist conch, Ganoderma applanatum. Maybe not. It's not staining quite as dark as I would expect it to. Maybe it's just the time of year. It's growing on a big old cottonwood snag. There's lots of them here. That's pretty cool. There goes Bella. Hope she doesn't need another stick tied to her. Actually, what I think happened here is that they sprayed herbicides, because it's only right next to the road that I'm finding all this dried up brown stuff. Get into the woods or even go off onto just a side road and you don't see all this death. So yeah, I think they came through here and sprayed Roundup. So I definitely don't want to be harvesting anything here this year, even if there is anything to harvest. We finally made it. I'm tired. It's hot and I haven't eaten anything yet today. And I didn't realize how late in the day it was. So I think the first thing I'm going to do here is pick some spearmint, of course, and then eat and maybe swim and then fish, although I really should fish before I swim, but I'm too hot. I'm going to go ahead and start rehydrating my food now, even though I'm not going to cook it for a little bit, but I don't really want to have much of a fire in my cook stove here today. Got spinach and candy cat mushrooms. No, that's not spinach, that's stinging nettles. And potatoes. And it smells really good. Lots of nice spices in there. May as well add a little bit of spearmint to it as well. I got my trout in there, so I can't let it rehydrate too long because it'll hit the danger zone, but I'm going to rehydrate it as much as I can like this. There's plenty of spearmint here. I managed to pick a whole bag of it, and there's still 5 times this amount left. I forget the scientific name of this spearmint. Mentha something. They're all mentha something. Peppermint is Mentha piperita. And the kind of spearmint you generally grow in your garden is Mentha spicata. We're gonna head over to the bass fishing spot now, but I don't know. I don't generally have real good luck here when it's windy. We don't have a burn ban yet, but I think the fire danger is pretty high and it's windy. So I'm going to cook surrounded by water. And I'm well away from any dry vegetation. Yep. I wish I had packed a cold lunch today. I'm not that thrilled about cooking here. I am so hungry. I cannot wait to eat. Yeah, the lake level's a lot higher than it was when I was here last year, but I guess that was later in the year. This is actually my first time here this year. And the last time I was here, I was actually able to walk all the way around it, but not this time. This has been a pretty good lake for bass. I generally get my limit. Remember, you can't keep any bass that are over 12 inches long unless it's over 17 or 14 inches too. I forget which. I'm never going to keep a bass that big, so it doesn't matter. They've got slot limits to try to keep the bass of the perfect reproductive age in the lakes. But I'm not sure if they should have any limit on bass under 12 inches because the lakes are just filled with baby bass and they never get any big bass. But we'll try for our 5 here today in a bit, but not until after lunch and coffee. Cheers, everyone. This is definitely some of the best coffee I've ever had, partly because I'm so hungry, but also because so much fresh wild spearmint. Wow, this is good. Yay. I've got my lunch sitting here in a little bit of warm water, but I need to fire up the stove again and get it going good. And then while that's cooking, I'll go ahead and rig up my fishing line. Still cooking my lunch, but I've got my rig set up. I've got the name brand Yanomamo worms today. My dad gave me for my birthday. These are the fancy, expensive ones. And I got a brand new hook that I'm keeping it on. Brand new sharp hook. This. But I did pinch the barb off. And then I got a swivel up here. Right there, a swivel, and I got braid, 10-pound leader, and a nice salty stick bait. Texas rigged. I predict we catch a bass on the first cast, but that's going to be a ways off. And Bella wants lunch, but Millie told me that dogs don't need any lunch, so I didn't pack a lunch for her today, but she looks like she could use some lunch. I kind of wish I had. I guess I'll just have to share my lunch with her. Bella's getting her lunch. Half a packet of ramen noodles, and she's happy to have them. She's burned so many calories. I think she should have lunch on our hikes. I really do. I've put my noodles, the other half of the packet, in my lunch now, and I'm going to go ahead and add this seasoning because this particular brand doesn't use MSG. It's taken a while to cook in the wind, and I'm so hungry. These little plants that are growing underwater and then partly coming out of water, these are mint. These are spearmint. It's perfectly capable of growing underwater when it needs to. The leaves are shaped a little bit differently when it grows underwater, though. They're kind of curled down and they're much smaller. Then when it comes out of the water, then it grows its bigger leaves. I think this might be the best tasting mint there is. Lunch is served, and the sun is out, so I'm hiding here in the shade to eat it. Okay, at last, let's do some fishing. My tummy feels better. The wind is still pretty bad, but nothing we can do about that. Let's give this a try. My first bass cast of the year. Wow, my line's just floating up there in the sky. I can't even tell if something took it on the drop. That's normally what the bass do here, is they just take it on the drop. Well, so far nothing. Cast number 3. I guess this is just not the place to be in the wind. This is strange. I don't even see the normal little schools of baby bass following my stick bait in. Strange. I wonder if we're going to catch any bass today. It seems strange to me that the schools of baby bass that I always see right here, so dependably that I can even put my camera down in the water and record them going after my lure. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, got off. Finally a bite anyway. Yay. Since it's kind of hard to cast here in the wind and I want more weight, but I don't want to switch to a hook with a weight, what I've done is I've hooked up a creature bait and a stick bait at the same time. All right, let's give this a try. It's big, it's loud, and it'll cast a long ways, and I'll probably lose it pretty quickly, but let's give it a try. My lakes are so weedy. Generally, anytime I try a lure like this, I get 2 or 3 casts and then it's gone. But I think I only paid $1 for this at Walmart, so let's give it a try. How did my drag get that tight? Okay, let's do it. Going back to my tried and true blue stick bait with the offset hook. These are a little bit heavier than the ones my dad gave me. I think they'll cast better, yeah. Maybe they'll sink a little faster too. I got a bite. That was cool. I think it just bit the tail though. But at least it was a bite. Let's try again. Maybe we can get that same bass to bite again. There we go. There we go. Got one. Finally got one. Yay! We caught a baby bass. Woohoo! All right. Now see if I can gently get it off here. This is definitely not big enough to keep. No barb on my hook, so it comes off easy. Bye-bye, baby bass. Yay! We didn't get skunked. Woohoo! We caught a baby bass. All right. All right. Bella, we caught a baby bass. Hopefully we can catch something worth keeping next. If there's a next even. Well, Bella caught a big bass. Good dog. She found herself a nice bass carcass in the bushes there. That looks like it was a decent sized one. Wow. Note to self, give Bella her dewormer when we get home. Bella's all excited because I cast into those bushes and it took me a while to get my line out of there. And of course she doesn't realize it was me, so she thinks there's something in there. And that's about all the excitement we're gonna get at this lake today, I think. I'm about ready to pack up and go home. Heading out of here completely skunked. But we got some spearmint. And I'm gonna come up here a bit and uproot a bunch of spearmint to transplant to my house. Okay, this is no longer Big Bass Lake. This is now Skunk Lake. Until next time. I'm sure it will be Big Bass Lake again at some point. But I don't know, these yahoos that go driving in the lake, I seriously doubt they follow any fishing rules. But maybe they don't even come here to fish, I don't know. We made it back to the car. The only interesting thing that happened really was Bella saw another grouse, and I saw either a turkey vulture or an eagle. I think a turkey vulture, and I made a video of it. But other than that, pretty uneventful walkout. 2 cars passed us though, so I guess a lot of people have keys to this gate, so that's not as fun for me. Definitely the next time we come back here, we're going to do it early in the morning. Thanks for watching. Please keep commenting. As always, it's the comments that keep me going, and the last time I looked, I had 599 subscribers, so maybe you could be number 600. So we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.